Bonsoir et bienvenue à la réunion du Conseil en date du 22 octobre 2025. Good evening and welcome to our regular council meeting of October 22nd, 2025. Council members, M. Tessier, chef de département, les gens dans la salle, ceux qui nous écoutent sur YouTube, those of you who are watching us on YouTube, welcome to our council meeting. Call this meeting to order. Going to item number 2, land acknowledgement. As we gather here today, we respectfully acknowledge the land on which we live and work in Champlain Township is located on the traditional and unceded territory of Anishinaabe people, including the Algonquin Nation. We furthermore acknowledge that the territory encompasses the traditional and the treaty lands of the Haudenosaunee people, including the Mohawk Nation. Nous reconnaissons avec gratitude ces Premières Nations pour la protection de cette terre et nous les honorons. Nous sommes reconnaissants des contributions passées, présentes et futures apportées par les peuples des Premières Nations, Inuits et Métis pour façonner et pour renforcer nos communautés. Alors, le thème numéro 3, l'adoption de l'agenda. Une résolution qui suit. Be it resolved that Council approves the agenda of the regular meeting of October 22nd, 2025 as presented. On need a mover and a seconder. Proposal appuyeur, Mme Clément, seconded by Mr. Minor. All in favor? Those against? Carried. Item number 4, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, on s'en va avec l'item numéro 8, staff report. 8.1, planning. 8.1.1, the ongoing planning projects. Be it resolved that the ongoing planning projects list as presented by the planner on October 22nd, 2025 be received and filed. I'll need a mover and seconder. Proposal appuyeur. Monsieur Roy, seconded by Monsieur Duval. Any questions on the report? Seeing none, all those in favor? Those against? Carried. 8.1.2, land severance application B-069-2025 in regards to Lepage Guindon from J.L. Richards. Madame Nikita, good evening. The podium is yours.
Good evening, thanks. I'll start by sharing my screen to provide some context. So the first application, so there's 2 applications today. The first application that we're looking at is for the property known as 3569 Richards Road. So in this diagram here, you'll see A. So this is the lot to be severed. B is the lot to be retained. B is where the existing residential dwelling is. What you're seeing here as the severed lot A is going to be consolidated to 2078 Caledonia Springs, which is shown here as the lot to be enlarged. So to provide some other aerial context, so this is an aerial view of the property. And if I turn on the severance layer here, so this portion that came on that's opaque, that's the severed property to be then consolidated with 2078. And then here in the corner is where the residential dwelling is. So I'll keep this one up for reference during my presentation. So the severed parcel will have a lot area of 34.1 hectares. This lot, or this portion of the lot, is presently vacant and actively being farmed. The proposed severed lot is intended as as I said, lot addition to 2078 Caledonia Springs Road. The retained parcel will have a lot area of 1.3 hectares, and the existing single detached dwelling and the accessory buildings that are there at this property will remain with this retained parcel. So getting into a quick planning analysis, first is the provincial planning statement. So the proposed severance is in a prime agricultural area, and a residence surplus to an agricultural operation is a type of severance that is permitted by the PPS. The proposed retained lot has been limited to a minimum size, and a condition has been included requiring that a zoning bylaw amendment to prohibit residential uses on the severed Lot A, so that's the larger piece, be submitted and approved. So moving on to the official plan for the United Counties of Prescott and Russell. Within the official plan, this property is designated within the agricultural policy area. The policy states that residential surplus to a farming operation as a result of farm consolidation is permitted. Further, the policy states that final approval of a consent shall require that the new residential dwellings and any type of residential uses are prohibited on any vacant remnant parcel of farmland created by the severance. So as I've said already, a condition has been added to rezone the severed lot to prohibit future residential uses. So moving on to the township zoning bylaw. Within the zoning bylaw, this property is zoned agricultural. This zone permits agricultural and residential uses for what is the proposed Lot A and B, subject to compliance with a variety of regulations. So for Lot A, so that's the bigger piece, the lot area of 34 hectares is compliant. And it's compliant as long as it's going to be merged with 2078 Caledonia Springs Road. So again, just to refresh, this is the proposed Lot A to be merged with 2078. The lot frontage is approximately 17 meters. And this is a technicality really, but the frontage ends up being right here where my mouse is, because frontage is where the shortest property line is, abutting a road. So the lot frontage of 17 meters is not compliant with the zoning bylaw. So this zoning deficiency can be addressed through a site-specific zoning exception, which can be captured at the time of the zoning bylaw amendment, which is already required as a condition of this consent. Furthermore, just to clarify, the zoning bylaw amendment to remove future residential uses will not apply to this existing lot, 2078 Caledonia Springs, but it will only apply to what is being severed. Additional details such as lot coverage, height, and setbacks to lot lines for all structures will be required to determine zoning compliance for the retained Lot B. And so the reason for this is in the application, the sketch showed a variety of different sheds, garage, house, a variety of different structures, but all of the details to determine zoning compliance were not provided at that time. So we are requesting that this be provided at the time of the zoning bylaw amendment so that in the event that there's any non-compliance issues, we can address them through site-specific amendments. So to conclude, we are recommending that the application be approved with the conditions as presented. And I won't go through them again, but essentially the first condition is to remove residential uses from Lot A and to bring this lot into compliance. Condition number 2 is that the owner provides detailed information regarding Lot B and the structures to ensure zoning compliance. And then condition number 3 is the payment of the balance of any outstanding taxes.
Thank you, Ms. Nikita, for the presentation. At this moment, I would ask council if they have any questions. Reminder. Micro, s'il vous plaît.
Sorry, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know to what extent it makes any difference, but when in the drawing that we were looking at, it is showing that it's on Blue Corner Road, but Blue Corner Road is on the other side of 17. This should be Caledonia Springs Road, I think.
C'est un open road allowance anyways. Fait que ça a pas une... je comprends votre... oui, ça devrait être Caledonia Springs Road, but le Caledonia Springs Road, il est sur le chemin de comté numéro 20. qui se trouverait ici. Ça, c'est un boundary road. Boundary road, que si cette ligne-là serait continuée, ça connecterait le bord de la 17 à Blue Corner Road. Donc, ça ferait partie de Blue Corner Road. Ça le serait. Ça le serait quand même. C'est un boundary road. C'est parce que si la ligne est à sa droite, Caledonia Springs n'existerait peut-être pas. Ça serait Blue Corner. Any other questions? I'm a bit confused. I understand the requirements, but why does the 17-meter has an impact in regards to the whole area as the Alfred concession is right at the bottom corner there. So they do have access to a road, and this road connects to Anadak Road, which is through the Nation Township. So I don't understand why this 17-meter has a conditions in regards to the property, which is Lot A.
For sure. Unfortunately, this is a zoning technicality problem. The zoning bylaw basically defines front lot line as being the shortest lot line abutting a street. So despite the fact that they have so much frontage and access here, the small part of the property, the 17 meters that's abutting Richens Road, from a zoning perspective, that's what we have to consider as front. And that's what makes this non-compliant. When the property, like if we consider the property as a whole, even with that lot B, that would still, like the area, like the piece of the property on Richens would still be considered front. So essentially this was like this is a lot that is benefiting from a legal non-compliance situation. Ultimately, this is just something we are flagging. Like we are based on the PPS and the policies of the UCPR official plan, they have to rezone the large property that is the farmland to prohibit any future residential uses. So we would just be able to capture this non-compliance of 17 meters as part of that. And basically we would just be recognizing that this is an existing condition and it would legalize an otherwise non-compliant situation. So it's not really adding any, it's a technical issue that we're looking to resolve through the condition, but it's ultimately not putting any undue hardship on the applicant. They're not going to need to do any additional application to that zoning bylaw amendment that they'll have to do.
But in the resolution, it's part of the condition. So they need to do something.
Yeah, so they need to do a zoning bylaw amendment, but the zoning bylaw amendment exists regardless of this issue with the 17-meter frontage. Like
Okay.
they have to do the zoning bylaw amendment to prohibit residential uses. And through that process, we would capture the frontage, which is not compliant.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go back to my page. So recommendation resolution, be it resolved that the consent application B-069-2025 be received, and be it further resolved that the application be granted with the following conditions, which is 3 conditions. 1, that the owner obtains a zoning bylaw amendment clear of any appeal to remove the residential uses from severed Lot A and bring Lot A into zoning compliance. Condition 2, the owner provides the detailed information such as a lot coverage, height, and setbacks of the property lines for all structures to ensure zoning compliance for retained Lot B. And 3, payments of any balance of any outstanding taxes, including penalties and interest, shall be paid to the Township of Champlain. I need a mover and seconder to move forward. Madame Clément, appuyé de, seconded by Monsieur Burrows. All those in favor? Those against? Carried. On s'en va à l'item numéro 8.1.3, Land Severance Application B-070-2025 in regards to Drapeau. Ms. Nikita?
Thank you. So again, I'll start by sharing to provide some context. So the property in question for this application is at 2158 St. Anne Road. So the applicant is proposing to sever approximately 1.1 hectares. So the severed lot, which in this case is A, is proposed to be 1.1 hectares. The retained lot B is proposed to be 2.5 hectares. And, oh, how do I move this? 1 second. Okay, so there is the aerial. So the aerial imagery is showing the lot, how it is presently, with frontage along St. Anne Road. And then once I put the severance layer on, you can see that the area to be severed is what's showing in opaque here. The existing residential dwelling and the accessory building will remain with the retained parcel, and you can see it faintly here where the structures are. I'll also mention that the proposed severed lot, the one on the bottom, is intended for a future single detached dwelling. So getting into, again, I'll leave this one up. Again, getting into a brief planning analysis. So this proposed severance is within what's considered in the provincial planning statement as rural lands. So a new residential lot on rural lands is permitted by the provincial planning statement. The lands being severed were supported by 2 technical studies that were submitted with the application. The first being an aggregate resource impact assessment, which concluded that the property contains little to no aggregate resources. The second document that was submitted with the application was a hydrogeological report, which concluded that the lot size is sufficiently adequate to attenuate the potential effluent impacts generated by the proposed on-site septic system without impacting the local supply aquifers. Basically, what that means to say is that there's no concerns from a hydrogeological perspective for this property. There are a number of recommendations within that study, but the implementation of that will not happen through conditions at the township level, but will happen at the county level. So to conclude, the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement. So next is the official plan for the United Counties of Prescott and Russell. So within the official plan, this property is designated as a rural policy area. Outside of what we think of as our typical urban settlement areas, the rural policy area is where there's flexibility for certain uses, which includes lot creation. So some of the conditions for lot creation that the official plan sets out is that the lot needs to have frontage on a year-round publicly maintained road, and the lot being severed as well as the lot being retained have to conform to the zoning bylaw, which I'll get into next. So for now, the proposed severance for a new residential lot in the rural policy area is permitted by the official plan. So yeah, as I was saying, next is the township zoning bylaw. So within the zoning bylaw, this property is zoned rural. The property does have a mineral aggregate resource overlay over part of the property. And this is why they needed to submit that impact assessment with their application. So essentially the rural zone permits residential and agricultural uses subject to a variety of different provisions. For this particular property, the proposed lot area and frontage for both the severed and retained lots comply with the zoning bylaw. The existing dwelling and accessory building that are on the retained lot, so that's lot B, also demonstrate zoning compliance as they meet with the minimum required setbacks and the maximum permitted height and lot coverage. The new dwelling that is to be proposed for lot A, we have not received any further information at this time, but it will be reviewed for zoning compliance at the time of a building permit. So therefore, the proposed severed and retained lots comply with the zoning bylaw. So in conclusion, we're recommending approval of this application. with only one condition, and the condition is the payment of the balance of any outstanding taxes.
Thank you, Ms. Nikita. Recommendation, be it resolved that the consent application B-070-2025 be received. Be it further resolved that the application be granted with the following conditions. 1, the payment of the balance of any outstanding taxes, including penalties and interest, shall be paid to the Township of Champlain. On est des movers et un seconder. Proposé à l'appuyeur, M. Burrows, appuyé de M. Duval. All those in favor? Those against? Carried. Ms. Nikita, thank you for your presentation, and you're more than welcome to stay with us. We're going to continue with our council meeting. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
Passons à l'item 8.3, Recommendation Report. 8.3.1, a report ADM-2025-14 in regards to the Regional Community Investment Funds. There are attachments in regards to what is proposed. I have a resolution that reads as follows. Be it resolved that Administration Report ADM-2025-14 regarding the Regional Community Investment Fund be received and filed, and be it further resolved that Council approves the recommendation creating a specific reserve named Regional Community Investment Funds, also known as the RCIF, in order to comply with Section 4.8.3 of the RCIF guidelines, and be it further resolved that the 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026 allocations be contributed to the Regional Community Investment Fund Reserve, and be it further resolved that the construction of a pavilion for the L'Orignal Park be financed by the RCIF Reserve and be included in the 2026 budget, and be it further resolved that any subsequent allocations or unspent allocations be automatically contributed to the RCIF Reserve. Proposeur appuyeur, on est le mover un seconder, M. Roy, appuyé de, secondé par M. Lalonde. Discussion, question. M. Burrows.
Merci, M. le maire. Ma question s'adresserait à M. Tessier, puis aussi à Mme Collard. Est-ce qu'on regarde seulement à l'installation d'un pavillon ou est-ce que, éventuellement, je sais qu'on avait eu des discussions du chalet-abri, qu'il ne rencontrait pas les standards pour les personnes avec des besoins spéciaux? Est-ce que, parce que le pavillon, c'est bien beau, c'est ouvert, ça va avoir une utilisation limitée. Quand même, l'hiver, ça va avoir une patinoire. Il n'y a plus d'autres activités qu'on va pouvoir avoir. Je veux juste savoir si on va maintenir le chalet-abri ou on va construire quelque chose d'autre. C'est ma question à vous.
Merci, M. Burrows, pour la question. Essentiellement, on est encore en période d'évaluation pour le chalet-abri, mais le but serait de le garder, puis de le rénover, puis d'ajouter le pavillon éventuellement. Ce serait ça le plan de match, mais il va falloir l'évaluer, voir les coûts qu'on va mettre pour le rénover et l'apporter conforme, autrement dit, afin que la population puisse l'utiliser. Mais c'est ça.
J'aime peut-être la réponse de M. Tessier, mais il reste que 2026, c'est un budget qu'on pourrait peut-être discuter du chalet-abri. M. Burrows.
C'est parfait, c'est juste que je regardais au point de vue d'utilité. Il y a quand même des activités qui vont dans le chalet-abri durant l'hiver. Donc, il ne faut pas négliger ce côté-là. Mais je comprends, M. le maire, qu'est-ce que vous dites, puis ça sera pour le budget de 2026. Merci.
Autre question? Commentaire? All those in favor? Those against? Carried. Item number 8.3.2. Report FIN-2025-12 in regards to 2025 annual repayment limit. Again, there are two attachments. Be it resolved that finance report number FIN-2025-12 dated October 22nd, 2025 regarding the 2025 annual repayment limit, also known as the ARL, submitted by the treasurer be received and filed. Proposeur appuyeur. M. Lalonde, appuyé de M. Miner. Je ne sais pas si Mme Tovette voulait peut-être expliquer un peu le scénario de ce ARL-là. Moi, ça fait quand même 33 ans que je suis ici, fait que je connaissais assez bien. Donc, peut-être pour certains membres du conseil ou je demande au conseil s'ils ont des questions, on peut passer par cette étape-là. Quelle préférez-vous? Mme Tovette?
Je peux donner une très, très, très brève explication. Donc, c'est juste pour faire le réajustement, là, dans le fond, là, du calcul de qu'est-ce qui est permis comme dette, là, qu'est-ce qui est mandaté selon la législation, là. Donc, c'est juste pour assurer avant chaque emprunt qu'on fait qu'on respecte les limites qui nous sont attribuées. Puis, comme on a eu plusieurs prêts qui sont venus à échéance, qu'on a complété de payer et renouvelés, bien, c'est ça. Il y avait plusieurs ajustements à être faits, là. Et puis, en bout de ligne, somme toute, là, on est quand même beaucoup en delà des limites, là. On a encore beaucoup de capacité, là. Notre capacité après les ajustements, il était à 34,75 % du montant qu'on est alloué. Fait qu'il nous reste quand même beaucoup de capacité d'emprunt.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce qu'il y a des questions, commentaires? Aucune. All those in favor? Those against? Carried. Item numéro 8.3.3, in regards to report CLK-2025-07, alternate voting method 2026 municipal election. I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the Clerk's Department report CLK-2025-07 dated October 22nd, 2025, regarding alternate voting methods for the 2026 municipal elections be received, and be it further resolved that Council Bylaw number 20, be it further resolved that Council Bylaw 2025-63 to authorize the use of internet voting as an alternate method of voting for the 2026 municipal election be brought forward for adoption, and be it further resolved that Council approves a contract award for the supply of an internet voting system for the 2026 municipal election to Votes Canada Inc. and authorize the clerk to sign a contract award letter with Votes Canada Inc. that reflects the terms of the RFP. I need a mover and seconder. Proposeur appuyeur, M. Roy, seconded by M. Barton. Question? Seeing none, I do have, okay, Madam Collard, or, yeah, go ahead.
Well, perhaps I can just explain a little bit. So in March, Council approved the use of alternate voting methods that we've been using since 2003 very successfully, and authorized me to go ahead with a joint RFP with the other municipalities in Prescott-Russell for those services, which we went ahead and did, and we got the results back in. The resolution of Council from March was to proceed with internet voting only. We have used both systems for the past 4 or 5 elections, internet and telephone. In my March report, I did make mention of the fact that telephone voting is where we often get some, or our residents have some problems with understanding the process. And other municipalities within our group have gone for internet voting. So at that time, it was my recommendation that we only use internet voting. When we went out for our RFP as a group, we included both services, as some councils continued to want both services, while East Hawkesbury and Castleman are going with only internet. When the price came back, there's such a small differential between the two. In fact, it's a cost of just under $400. So I'd just like to point out that although Council did approve internet only, you do have the option to, at this point in time, to change your mind and use both internet and telephone. It It creates a little bit more work for the clerk's department. We can, as you know, we provide a help center for those that have any issues. Many of our residents that came and used the help center were astonished about how quick and easy it was to vote online. You see everything in front of you. You press a button, you make your selection, you see what the selection is. Whereas when you're using the telephone, you have to listen carefully, make sure you press 1 when you want to press 1. It's going to tell you that you pressed 1 for X candidate and ask you to confirm. So those people have to listen very carefully. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it. I'm saying that council has a great has the option to continue to use both because the price difference is minimal.
Thank you, Mme. Collard. Questions, commentaires? Si je peux vous... Monsieur Roy?
Oui, Monsieur le maire. Dans le passé, je sais que il y a 7 ans passés, là, au moment de l'élection, j'ai reçu des appels de gens qui ont eu des problèmes avec le système téléphonique. Puis c'est effectivement, il faut vraiment écouter. Puis je pense que ça a causé certains problèmes. Puis je pense que c'est pas agréable non plus pour les gens qui s'en occupent. Donc, je ne suis pas convaincu que le système téléphonique est la meilleure façon de procéder, même si le coût n'est pas énorme. Merci.
Merci, M. Roy. Autre commentaire? Moi, ma seule crainte, que si on n'a pas les deux systèmes, les gens qui n'ont pas d'Internet ou qui n'ont pas d'ordinateur vont tout simplement pas voter, tandis qu'ils ont tous des téléphones, ou 99%, d'eux ont des téléphones. Pour le 375 $ de différence, est-ce qu'on ne serait pas mieux d'inclure les deux? Comme ça, on serait safe. On pourrait voir l'année prochaine si ça vaut vraiment la peine de l'avoir investi. On pourrait avoir un tab de combien de gens se sont servis du système téléphonique, à moins qu'on l'arrête de 3 ans passés. On parle de 5 cents, on parle de 375 $, pour donner l'option aux gens. Puis, je comprends, oui, absolument, il faut vraiment porter attention. C'est pas si difficile que ça, mais quand même, il faut quand même porter attention à ce que les gens disent au téléphone pour être capable de voter. Le conseil est ouvert à voter et à prendre l'option qu'ils veulent. Si c'est simplement l'Internet, on procède avec la résolution. Si on va avec les deux systèmes, on fait un amendement à la résolution, puis on rajoute voting by phone included. Le conseil qui décide. M. Roy?
Si les gens sont d'accord pour aller avec les deux options, j'ai pas de problème. Je vais spécifier qu'on peut avoir certains résidents qui vont rencontrer quelques problèmes.
Council's choice, as is, or include voting by phone. Monsieur Duval?
I think we should give them the option, include the phone too.
Madame Clément? Okay. Pas d'amendement. On rajoute voting by phone. On passe au vote. All those in favor? Those against? Carried. So the phone will be included. Thank you. Item number 8.3.4, report number PWD-2025-04, L'Orignal Wastewater Treatment Plant, a UV system replacement. As a report included, be it resolved that Public Works report number PWD-2025-04 dated October 22nd, 2025, regarding the L'Orignal Wastewater Treatment Plant, a UV system replacement be received and filed, and be it further resolved that Council approves the increase in approve the budget for the replacement of the UV system from $440,000 to $535,000. So there's an increase of $95,000. On need a mover and a seconder. On prend en choix, c'est Mme Clément, appuyé de, seconded by M. Lalonde. Questions? Questions? All those in favor? Those against? Carried. 8.3.5, report PWD-2025-05, award of tender number PWT-2025-06 in regards to grass cutting and trimming for the season 2026 to the season 2028. Again, there's an attachment. Be it resolved that the Public Work Report number PWD-2025-05 dated October 22nd, 2025 concerning the awards of tender number PWT 2025-06 for grass cutting and trimming services for the year 2026 to 2028 be received and filed, and be it further resolved that Council approves the award of contract number PWT-2025-06 to Joey's Lawn Care, also known under the 16938-469 Canada Inc., in accordance with the terms and conditions outlined in the contract. Proposeur appuyeur, mover and seconder, M. Burrows, appuyé de M. Roy. Questions? Questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Those against? Carried. 8.3.6, report PED-2025-03 in regards to the backyard hen bylaw update. There's a report. Be it resolved that that the Planning and Economic Development Report PED-2025-03 dated October 22nd, 2025 regarding an update to the backyard hen bylaw be received, and be further resolved that bylaw number 2025-68 being a bylaw for backyard hens in Champlain Township be brought forward adoption, and be further resolved that the bylaw number 2023-61 regarding a pilot program for backyard hens in Champlain Township be repealed. Proposeur appuyeur, M. Minor, appuyé de, seconded by M. Burrows. Question? All those in favor? Those against? Carried. 8.4, monthly reports. 8.4.1, financial statement from September 30th, all the way down to 8.4.9, and I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the following staff report be received and filed under the consent resolution for agenda item number 8.4.1 through 8.4.9, which includes the financial statement as of September 30th, 2025, accounts September 2025, all the monthly reports for September 2025 in regards to the Fire Department, the Parks and Recreation Department, Public Works, Building, Bylaw, Communication and Community Development, and the Library Department. Proposeur appuyeur, mover and seconder. M. Duval, seconded by, appuyé de M. Roy. Any questions? Juste faire mention sur le rapport du Public Work que je tiendrai à remercier M. Lafrance pour les travaux entrepris dans les rues de Ventléquille. Impeccable, beau chemin refait à neuf. Aussi, en collaboration avec les Comtés unis, on travaille sur le chemin de comté numéro 10, qui est la main de Ventléquille. Donc, projet futur qui sera octroyé éventuellement. Donc, ce chemin-là, c'est à venir. Aussi, la rue Pendleton, que j'ai vu qu'on va avoir des ingénieurs qui vont faire leurs études. Donc, merci beaucoup pour nous garder up-to-date. Côté de Park and Recs, merci beaucoup pour le service qu'on offre à nos résidents et très rare que j'entends des plaintes. Keep it up. Good work. Thank you very much. And all the other departments, thank you also. Having that said, all those in favor? Those against? Carried. Committee of the Whole, item number 9, Committee of the Whole recommendations. Be it resolved that the following items, as identified under the consent items category on the regular meeting agenda of October 22nd, 2025, be adopted, which includes 9.1, the Hawkesbury Industrial Investment Association, also known as HIIA, and 9.2, which is the report of FIN-2025-11 in regards to the 2026 to the 2030 user fees. On need a mover and a seconder. Proposeur appuyeur, Mme Clément, seconded by, appuyé de M. Minor. Question? All those in favor? Those against? Carried. Number 10, liaison comité, minutes, members report. Be it resolved that the following reports for the minutes and the minutes be received and filed. For line number 10.1, Library Board minutes of September 17, 2025, and item number 10.2, Joint Recycling Committee in regards to the minutes of June 23rd, 2025. Mover and seconder, proposal PR, Duval, seconded by Stuart Minor. Any questions on the reports? Seeing none, all those in favor? Those against? Carried. Item number 12, adoption of minutes. Again, consented items 12.1 and 12.2. Be it resolved that the council approve the minutes of the following meetings: regular council meeting of September 25, 2025, and the committee of the whole meeting of October 9, 2025, as presented. Mover and seconder, proposal PR. M. Duval, seconded by Mme Clement. Any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Those against? Carried. Adoption of bylaws, 13.1. Bylaw number 2025-63, alternate voting method, internet voting 2026 municipal election. This will need to be amended. Do we pass the bylaw anyways? What I
Yeah.
read was there.
Excuse-moi, Monsieur le Maire, we did prepare two versions of it, so we will adopt the version that includes internet and telephone.
Okay. So I read the resolution in regards to, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-63 being a bylaw to authorize alternate voting methods for the 2026 municipal elections be passed. Proposal PR. Monsieur Duval, seconded by Mme Clement. Read the first time, all those in favor? Read the second time, all those in favor? Read the third time, all those in favor? Carried. 13.2, bylaw number 2025-64. Borrowing bylaw, the renewal of Highway 34 reconstruction project. Be resolved that the bylaw number 2025-64 being a bylaw to authorize the renewal of the loan for the Highway 34 reconstruction project be passed. Proposal PR. Duval, seconded by Mr. Burrows. Read the first time, all those in favor? Read the second time, all those in favor? Read the third time, all those in favor? Carried. I don't ask if there's any questions in regards to bylaws, but if there's any questions, please just raise your hands. It's pretty self-explanatory in regards to the attachments that we get. 13.3, bylaw number 2025-65, borrowing bylaw for renewal, again, in regards to the lagoon reconstruction project and the Highway 34 water and sewer works project. Be it resolved that the bylaw number 2025-65 being a bylaw to authorize the renewal of the loan for the lagoon reconstruction project and the Highway 34 water and sewer works project be passed. Proposal PR, mover and seconder, Mr. Duval, seconded by Mr. Minor. Read the first time, all those in favor? Read the second time, all those in favor? Read the third time, all those in favor? Carried. 13.4, bylaw number 2025-66, borrowing bylaw, again, a renewal in regards to King Street reconstruction project of the Lornial Stand and the Lornial Standpipe rehabilitation project. We resolved that the bylaw number 2025-66 being a bylaw to authorize the renewal of the loan for the King Street reconstruction project and the Lornial Standpipe rehabilitation project be passed. Proposal PR. Mme Clement, appuyée de M. Roy. Read the first time, all those in favor? Read the second time, all those in favor? Read the third time, all those in favor? Carried. 13.5, bylaw number 2025-67 in regards to the user fees for the year 2026 to 2030. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-67 being a bylaw for the purpose of setting fees and charges levied for the year 2026 to 2030 be passed. Proposal. Oh, Madame Tovette. Un petit mot avant de la... Ben, m'a passé à proposer appuyeur avant. Proposeur appuyeur. M. Marner, appuyé de M. Lalonde. Madame Tovette.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Si je peux me permettre, là, juste pour souligner, on a fait quelques ajustements entre la version qui a été révisée à la réunion plénière et puis celle d'aujourd'hui. si vous voulez, je vais juste passer au travers de la liste puis énumérer les changements. À la page 2, dans la section d'administration, on a pour la section qui touche les frais pour les ventes de propriété, pour les tax sales, we modified, we had professional costs and we added professional and legal costs, so we did change the wording on these. Page 6 for bylaw, under the clean yard, we changed the wording cost for cost incurred. Still at page 6 under bylaw, the permit encroachment, we changed legal fees to legal costs. Page 16, which is the waste section, for some reason, the landfill opening fees for contractors, it had not been updated with the proper rates. So these rates have been updated, and it started in 2025, the fee was $140 for the opening of the site. So it starts now at $145 for 2026, and it ends at $165 for 2030. So it goes up $5 each year. Pages 23 to 28 under planning, we changed all the wording from fees to cost when it comes to recovery. It's just to update it's just to use the proper terminology. The removal of holding provision for zoning bylaw amendments. Prior was $900. We changed it to $900 plus engineering and technical review costs. And still under planning at page 28, we changed the wording for deposit refund to application fee refund. So mostly wording just to be a little bit more precise and accurate.
Merci, Mme Tauvette. Membre du Conseil, d'accord avec les changements? Pas de questions? Pas de commentaires? Read the first time, all those in favor? Read the second time, all those in favor? Read the third time, all those in favor? Carried. Ça va à l'item numéro 13.6, bylaw number 2025-68, backyard hens bylaw. Be resolved that bylaw number 2025-68 being a bylaw for keeping of hens in the residential area within the Township of Champlain be passed. Proposeur appuyeur to bring the bylaw forward, Mr. Burrows, appui de M. Roy. Read the first time, all those in favor? Read the second time, all those in favor? Read the third time, all those in favor? Carried. 13.7. Bylaw number 2025-69 to amend bylaw number 2025-45 in regards to the Mill Creek Municipal Drain levying bylaw. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-69 being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 2025-45, a bylaw to authorize the levying of the amount paid for the substantial completion of construction of section 1, 2, and 3 of the Mill Creek Municipal Drain in the Township of Champlain, which was constructed under emergency designation of the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs in accordance with Resolution number 2016-280 and Bylaw number 2022-18 be passed. Proposeur appuyeur. Mover and seconder. Mr. Duval, seconded by Mr. Lalonde. Explication, Mme Tauvette, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, merci, Monsieur le maire. Juste pour vous donner, c'était expliqué dans le bail-là déjà, mais je vais juste brièvement réexpliquer c'est quoi les raisons des changements. Donc, suite à la cédule de répartition des coûts qui m'a été envoyée par notre surintendant des drains, il y a eu une émission au niveau des bénéfices spéciaux attribués aux routes. On a 3 routes qui auraient dû être allouées des bénéfices spéciaux, là. Donc, une fois qu'on rajoute ces bénéfices-là aux routes, ça a changé la répartition pour l'ensemble de la distribution du coût de construction selon la la cédule intérimaire là, pour les coûts de construction. L'impact, c'est sûr, pour les chemins, les coûts ont augmenté. Pour les propriétaires, les coûts ont descendu. Là. On voit un range de tout dépendant du montant, naturellement. Donc, la plus petite impact était une réduction de 22 sous allant jusqu'à 1168 $ pour le plus gros. Et ça, c'est pour les résidents dans Champlain. Je n'inclus pas pour la nation là-dedans. Fait que ça, c'était le plus gros impact dans le nouveau calcul. Et par la suite aussi, il y a eu quelques changements au niveau de l'éligibilité des subventions d'OMAFRA. Entre le début de quand la cédule a été créée à la toute fin, là, récemment, quand on a regardé, les données sur le site de AgMaps ont changé. Donc, on a mis à jour là, pour refléter les changements qui ont été faits sur AgMap.
Merci, Mme Tourette. Question de la part du membre des conseils? M. Burroughs?
On sait que la facturation a déjà été envoyée. Comment est-ce que vous allez procéder pour ceux qui ont déjà payé? Est-ce que vous allez créditer? Comment c'est que ça va se passer? Puis je vois aussi que la date pour l'échéance des paiements passe du 31 décembre au 30 janvier ou 31 janvier 2026. C'est quoi votre plan pour ça?
Oui, tout à fait. Bonne question. Dans le fond, la date qui va être repoussée, ça va être pour les... si vous vous souvenez, quand on a emmené le premier règlement au mois de juin, on était pour envoyer de l'information puis offrir des prêts aux gens qui avaient des montants de plus de 5 000 $ et plus. On ne s'est jamais rendu à envoyer les avis à ces gens-là pour leur demander quelle option ils choisissaient. On a eu une couple de délais, puis là, par la suite, on s'est rendu compte qu'il y avait peut-être des changements aux cédules, donc on a un peu tout mis sur pause. Là. Donc, ces gens-là, ils vont se voir une date repoussée jusqu'au 31 janvier. Là. On va, dès que possible, là, après l'adoption du règlement, on va procéder à leur envoyer leur avis pour qu'ils puissent nous signaler leur choix. Et à ce moment-là, ceux qui choisissent de payer le montant d'un coup, eux, ils auront jusqu'au 31 janvier. Les autres ont déjà reçu leur facture. La facture va être moins, donc on a laissé la date pour ces gens-là au 31 décembre. En ce qui concerne les ajustements, on va faire un renversement de la facture initiale, puis on va faire excusez le terme, là, mais un rebill. Fait qu'ils vont recevoir 2 papiers. Ils vont recevoir la note de crédit, essentiellement, qui annule la première facture et une nouvelle facture au bon montant. On regarde, là, on va peut-être essayer de leur envoyer un état de compte avec ça pour qu'ils sachent, parce qu'il y en a de ces gens-là qui ont déjà payé naturellement. Plusieurs n'ont pas attendu la date limite du 31 décembre. Donc, on va peut-être essayer d'envoyer un état de compte pour voir au net là, qu'est-ce qu'il leur reste à... Pour la plupart, s'ils ont déjà payé, ça va être un crédit dans le fond. Donc, ça. Le montant il est au compte de taxes. Donc, ceux qui ont des petits crédits, le crédit va rester à leur compte. Je ne pense pas que les gens vont demander un chèque de remboursement pour 22 sous. Ou, je m'attends que peut-être ceux qui c'est des plus gros montants, on va être disponible, ils nous appelleront, puis on va à ce moment-là répondre. On va aussi accompagner les factures d'une lettre explicative là, pour que chaque personne soit au courant là, de vraiment c'est quoi la raison là, de l'ajustement.
Go ahead.
Merci, M. le maire. Juste pour les autres projets qui vont venir, est-ce que c'est possible que les bénéfices ou les crédits soient indiqués sur la facture initiale, au lieu qu'il y ait une deuxième lettre qui va suivre pour savoir combien est-ce que c'est que tu vas avoir comme crédit ou comme bénéfice, le tout soit inscrit sur la facture. Est-ce que c'est possible de faire ça pour les prochains projets qu'il va y avoir dans la municipalité?
Oui, vous parlez sans doute là, comme des bénéfices qui étaient calculé un peu séparément, là. Notre système, il a fallu qu'on fasse un peu de recherche, là. C'était le système comptable qu'on a comme c'est là, c'est comme on prend le fichier en tant que tel, puis on l'importe dans notre système comptable. Puis étant donné que ces bénéfices-là faisaient pas partie de la cédule, c'était un peu plus complexe d'essayer de tout combiner ensemble. Donc, c'est pour ça que pour ces cas-là particuliers, il a fallu faire des ajustements à part, mais définitivement, c'est quelque chose qu'on peut regarder pour le futur, peut-être se renseigner avec notre compagnie de logiciels, voir si c'est possible.
Merci.
Merci, M. Rose. Autres questions, commentaires? Aucune? Read the first time? All those in favor? Read the second time? All those in favor? Read the third time? All those in favor? Carried. Item numéro 14, correspondance for action 14.1 AMCTO in regards to Local Government Week. J'ai une résolution, on va la lire comme suit. Whereas October 19, 2025 is a Local Government Week in Ontario, an opportunity to reflect on the vital services delivered by municipal governments, and whereas the municipal governments play a vital role in helping to define the character, priorities, physical makeup, and quality of life of communities across Ontario. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Normand Riopel, on behalf of the Township of Champlain, do hereby join with partners such as the Association of Municipal Managers, Clerks and Treasurers of Ontario, also known as the AMCTO, in acknowledging and celebrating the work of local municipalities by proclaiming week of October 19 to the 25th, 2025 as Local Government Week in Champlain Township. Proposeur appuyeur, Mme Clément, appuyé de M. Barton. All those in favor? Those against? Carried. On s'en va à l'item numéro 15, correspondance for support resolution 15.1, the Township of Woolwich. In regards to Bill C-61, the First Nations Clean Water Act. Monsieur Minor propose, on supporte. On a un proposeur appuyé de M. Duval. All those in favor? Those against? Carried. Ça va à l'item numéro 15.2, City of Dryden. Mandatory water safety and swim to survive training in the elementary school curriculum. Monsieur Duval propose. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Burrows? In favor? Ceux en faveur? Those against? Carried. Item numéro 15.3, City of Kitchener. Amendment to the Municipal Act, paperless tax bill and fees for paper billing. Poseur appuyeur, M. Duval. Go ahead.
No, I don't agree with that because a lot of people get their bills and they go by that. They can't do it on the computer, and I don't think we should charge them for doing that.
Jouer, Monsieur Burrows.
I agree with Mr. Duval. What the City of Kitchener is proposing is to basically ask for an amendment to the Municipal Act, removing the paper billing. And I think it should be left as an option. It's nice to say that everything can be done by electronic billing, but there is a cost also that we don't talk about. But there is cost to maintaining these systems. We were talking at the last meeting, $7,000 we were saying for the voting, or for the billing by paper. But there's a cost to maintaining our township equipment also. So it doesn't come free. But there should be an option for everybody who wants an electronic billing to have it. But we shouldn't remove the right for those wanting paper billing. And I agree with Mr. Duval on that. We should not support the City of Kitchener on that.
Autres commentaires, other comments? Message est clair. Merci beaucoup. On s'en va à l'item numéro 15.4. AMCTO in regards to the advocacy for the automated speed enforcement. Monsieur Minor. Appuyeur. Mr. Barton. All in favor? Against? Carried. Ça va à l'item numéro against. Item numéro 17, question period. Aucune. Les annonces. Est-ce qu'on a des annonces à faire? Seeing none, je sais que le 8 novembre, if I remember correctly, is there not the Christmas home tour? Yeah, November 8th.
Yes, but I do also have an announcement.
Madam Collard?
I did want to bring to everyone's attention that November 9th, Sunday, November 9th, are the Remembrance Day ceremonies in L'Orignal at 11 a.m. and in Vinklikill at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Collard. Autre commentaire? Autre annoncement? Mr. Barton?
Also of interest to yourselves, I'm not familiar with this individual at all, but some of you may know him well. Elvis is coming to Vanklekill to support the Higginson Tower. Allison seems to know him, so maybe you'll explain it to me after, but the tickets are on sale now, but it's for an excellent cause. So if you're interested, Elvis, a Christmas special featuring local gentleman, Pete Paquette, and it's all coming to Vanklekill on the 12th, so I encourage you to consider supporting that if you can.
That's on December 12th. Thank you, Mr. Bard. Autres annonces? Merci beaucoup. Ça va l'item numéro 19 qu'on a fait notre in-camera. Item number 20, next meeting in regards to the Committee of the Whole, November 13, 2025, if required. And we also have our regular council meeting dated November 27, 2025. Confirming bylaw, number 21.1, bylaw number 2025-70. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-70, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting of October 22nd, 2025, be passed. Proposeur appuyeur. Madame Clément, appuyé de Monsieur Duval. All in favor? Oh, sorry. Read the first time. All those in favor? Read a second time. All those in favor? Read a third time. All those in favor? Carried. Adjournement numéro 22. Be it resolved that we adjourn at 7:06 p.m. Proposeur appuyeur. Mr. Burrows, appuyé de Monsieur Duval. All in favor? Carried. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée et on se revoit au mois de novembre au prochain meeting.